I'm Erica and welcome to Froth and Glaze. I'm a home barista and a major coffee enthusiast, and I love latte art. So today's video is on Latte Art Foundations, and these are the tips that I wish I would have known when I first started learning latte art. Let's get some materials first. If you're following along with me today, you'll need your espresso machine with a steam wand, any size milk pitcher, a coffee mug, a clean towel, and some liquid soap. Yes, that's right, there's no coffee or milk on here. This video is all about practicing where to place your steam wand and how to hold your pitcher and mug. So we're going to use soap and water to save on milk and coffee. Let's talk about pitcher grips. There's 4 main ways: the V grip, the palm grip, the pencil grip, and the L grip. Get your pitcher and try each one and see what one feels the most natural. I've found that I have the most control using the L grip. As long as you can safely handle the milk, there's really no wrong way to hold the pitcher. Let's talk about steam wand placement. Go ahead and fill your pitcher with some water and a little bit of soap. This is a great way to practice without wasting milk because the soap and the water foam just like milk. So always hold your pitcher by the handle, never by the top or the side, to avoid getting burned. While your steam is off, place your steam wand in the pitcher so that it is directly in the spout of the pitcher. This setup gives you good control of the movement of the pitcher because you'll need to make easy and quick transitions between aerating and mixing. If you just put the steam wand in the side of the pitcher, it's going to be really difficult to control the steam during these steps. Now, let's practice moving the pitcher up and down just a little bit and using the spout as a guide. The main thing here is to practice covering and uncovering the holes on the steam wand because that's going to be our transition between aerating and mixing. Okay, let's add in our mug. So you can either hold the mug by the base or by the handle when you pour. So here's by the base or by the handle. One of the most challenging things to remember is how to hold the cup so when you pour the art, the image is right side up. So if we're right-handed, we're going to place our mug like this and with the handle facing towards us because we'll be drinking out of this side of the mug. So we'll be pouring from this side. If we're left-handed, we're going to turn the mug so that the handle is away from us. We'll be drinking from this side, and we'll be pouring the art from this side. Now, the second motion you'll need to know is tilt your mug at a 45-degree angle. So this is the first thing that you'll need to do when pouring your art because we're going to be mixing a base. We'll be bringing the pitcher high above the cup, and we need this space to mix the milk and the espresso together. Another motion I would practice is tilting the mug away from you. So when we have the mug at a 45-degree angle, after we get done mixing the espresso and the milk, what we're going to do is tilt the cup away from us. So as we pour, the cup fills more, so we have to tilt the cups to right side up so that we have more space to add the milk to the cup. So while this seems trivial, I would still practice this. Practice turning the cup right side up from the 45-degree angle, and this helps you get that muscle memory fast on making sure that you don't spill your latte while you're making it. So let's move into milk steaming. There's 2 steps in making the kind of milk you need for latte art. The soap and water from earlier is going to be a great substitute for the foam milk. So I'll line up my pitcher, and before I turn my steam on, I'll talk about all the steps that we'll need to do. So I'll immediately bring my hand to the side of the pitcher to monitor the milk temperature, and make sure you use the palm of your hand because it's more sensitive than the tips of your fingers. So the first step we're going to do is aeration or stretching, and that's adding air. So you want the holes on the steam wand just covered slightly. You're going to hear what sounds like a paper tearing sound, and that's adding air. And we want to keep adding air until the milk feels like the same temperature as our hand. Next, we're going to move our pitcher up slightly and submerge the steam wand holes. You can see it's not very much, and the sound of the paper tearing will stop, and it should be very quiet. So this is mixing, and we're just going to be mixing the air in our milk, and the force of this milk is going to break apart the large part of the bubbles we made in the first step. So this is making our microfoam. So once the pitcher's too hot to touch, we're going to turn off our steam, even if our milk isn't completely textured. So let's give it a try. We're going to submerge the steam wand holes just a little bit. We're going to turn on our steam wand. I'm going to immediately bring my hand to the side of the pitcher, and I want to stop adding air when it feels like it's the same temperature as my hand. So I'm going to cover the steam wand holes just a little bit, and I'm going to keep adding air until it's too hot to touch, just barely. Now I'm going to turn off my steam. Set that down. Let's wipe off our steam wands. Okay, this looks really good. What you're looking for is the texture and consistency of wet paint. And even if you have some large bubbles with milk, you can tap them out. Swirl the milk a little bit to get it nice and glossy. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, there's one more thing to practice. So I'm going to grab my mug, and I'm going to use the steamed soap and water from earlier. I'm going to tilt my mug at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to start pouring from very high. So this thin stream allows you to mix the espresso and the milk together to create your base. And this is very important because this is where you're going to start pouring your art. When you are ready to start pouring, you'll bring your liquid in your mug all the way to the edge of your mug. And this makes sure that you have the largest canvas to pour on. Now, you'll bring your pitcher very close to your surface, almost to the point of touching. Depending on your pattern, will depend on where you put the spout on the pitcher. But for now, let's just put it so that it's close to the edge like this, and then you start pouring out. And just like at the same time, you'll want to start tilting your mug away from you to fill it up. And it takes practice, and don't worry about spills because it's all about having fun, and that's what matters. So let's put it all together. I'm going to start out by purging my steam wand just to remove any extra condensation. And I'm going to place my pitcher and line it up with my steam wand in the spout. I'm going to turn on my steam and immediately bring my hand to the side of the pitcher. Here I'm just making sure that I'm adding air only up to the point that the milk is the same temperature as my hand. It's a very slight movement, but when I reach that temperature, I'm going to stop adding air, and I move my pitcher slightly up to cover the steam holes. And I'm going to keep steaming and mixing until it's just too hot to touch. And then at that point, I'll